Have you ever found yourself in a crowded room full of angry people who are all looking to you for answers that you don't have? So over the last 12 summers, I've led more than 100 mission trips for high school students to serve the homeless in Atlanta, Georgia. And one of my favorite things that we do is cook up a big helping of pancakes and sit down at one of the local soup kitchens and eat with people. We found that more often than not, people are actually more hungry for conversation and interaction than they are for food, and it's amazing to sit and listen to the stories they have to tell. One hot summer day, we headed downtown with enough supplies to feed around 100 people. We had never served that many before, but we always took more than we thought we needed. However, when we arrived at the soup kitchen, the parking lot was already packed with people. I don't know why that particular day was any different from all the other days, but I knew we would be cutting it close on having enough food. We hurried inside and started setting up tables and cooking, and it wasn't long before the sweet smell of buttery goodness filled the air. After about 30 minutes, we opened the doors for the people outside to come in. By that point, the parking lot had swelled with even more people, but the good news was that we still hadn't quite reached 100 guests. But just in case, I went ahead and sent a volunteer out to buy more pancake mix and supplies. The last thing I ever want in a situation like that is to run out of food. As people filled the dining hall, the students jumped into serving. They were pouring coffee, passing out plates of pancakes, and more importantly, sitting down and talking with people. As time went by, more and more people kept coming in, and we handed out the last stack of pancakes as a wave of 15 more people showed up. This was not good. I called the volunteer who had left 20 minutes ago. No answer. I texted her. No response. I thought through various options before walking up to the front of the room and getting everyone's attention. I thanked them all for being there and explained the situation. I assured them that more food was on the way and we would be serving again shortly as a collective groan sounded throughout the room. Though the people there were homeless, many of them had jobs to get to or places to be. They came expecting to eat breakfast and now there was none. And I understood their frustration. I remembered when I had lived on the streets in downtown Atlanta. I thought about the times when soup kitchens opened later than they said or didn't open at all. I remembered standing in a parking lot for hours to only be let down and have to go find food somewhere else. My heart sunk. But then my phone rang. It was the missing volunteer. She had gotten lost but had found the grocery store and would be back in just a few minutes. That was good news, but we still needed time to cook. I needed something to help pass the time. One of the men who helps run the soup kitchen walked up and I asked if he had any ideas. He thought for a moment and then opened a cabinet and pulled out a big cardboard box and said these were donated a few days ago. I opened the box to find board games. Jenga, Connect 4, Battleship, things like that. I gave the guy a puzzled look. You think this will work? I asked. It's worth a shot, he said. You got any better ideas? I didn't, so I went back to the front of the room with the box. I got everyone's attention once more and asked if anyone wanted to play a board game. There was a long, silent pause while they looked at me like I was a little bit crazy. But then, a man in the back of the room raised his hand and said, I bet there isn't a person in this room that could beat me at Battleship. Then a woman a few tables over chimed in. Bring it on, chump, she said as she walked up to me and took the game. A table of people next to me asked for a box of Jenga and then a young man walked up to get Connect 4. Slowly but surely, the box emptied, and the room was filled with games, laughter, trash talk, and the unique sound of Jenga blocks crashing to the table. A little while later, we started serving pancakes again, and everyone who walked in the door was fed. But then something strange happened. No one got up to leave. Normally, people eat, hang out, and talk for a little while, and then they leave. But on that day, folks just kept playing games long after they were done eating. They were simple mass market games, but they had tapped into something that had been missing from the lives of the people in that room. And ever since that day, every time we go to that soup kitchen to serve food, we make sure to have plenty of games with us. And I have to say, there are few better sights in this world than seeing people sharing a meal and playing a game together. You know, it might just be pancakes and Jenga, but there's something special about getting people to the table, that no matter who we are or where we come from, we're really not that different. All anyone really wants is someone to eat with and share stories with, someone to talk to and share life with, someone to make them feel seen and valued. And while I'm not going to sit here and say that Jenga and pancakes can solve homelessness or anything, maybe they tap into the thing that does.